Hello everyone. Let's check the sound. Can everyone hear and see me well? If you can, please put a plus in the chat. Perfect. Okay, great. I guess we can start then. If you have any technical issues during the webinar, the best way to solve it is just close the window and then enter the room again. So do that, please. If it doesn't help, that you can ask for help in the chat box, and my helper, Irina, will help you if she can, or at least give some advice. And if you have any questions during the webinar, please leave them in a special section Vопросы, which you can see in the right upper corner. Because if you put them in the chat, I can lose them, unfortunately. So please don't forget to ask your questions in the right corner. So let's get to know each other. My name is Alexandra Slatkovskaya. I'm a leading methodologist at Skyeng and SkyTeach. I'm a teacher trainer and author of CPD courses for teachers and a CELTA certified teacher. And today I will be your presenter. And we are going to talk about something very interesting, something I'm very excited about. I hope that by the end of the webinar you will be as excited and motivated as I am. Great. I want to know who am I talking to today. So please, if you can, in the chat now, put where you're from and what you do. Like, for example, I am talking today from a very stormy Odessa in Ukraine, and I am a teacher. So who are you? Let's see our geography. Where are you from and what do you do? Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. Great. So mostly teachers. That's perfect. That's who my webinar is for. Good. Nice. Thank you very much. I've seen in my window with participants that we have a lot of different regions of Russia and Ukraine and Belarus and also a few other countries, and that's huge. That's great. So thank you so much. Okay, so let's see what we are going to talk about today. You see, as we are all teachers, there was a research on the internet, and the teachers were asked, the students, were asked, like, what is the best teacher? Who is the best teacher for you? And there were lots of options to choose from, and the most frequent option they saw was this. So they said that the best teacher is the one who knows or who is very knowledgeable about the subject matter. So what is the subject matter of an English teacher? Yeah, so we're English teachers, we teach English. So the subject matter of English teachers is English language. And it goes without saying that an English language teacher should know English very well, right? Also, we know that saying use it or lose it. And unfortunately, when working as teachers, we don't use all aspects of language and we don't use all vocabulary and so on. And after some time, we can lose some things and we can stop progressing in our language learning ourselves. And we do not improve, or we can just lose some level. We can be a bit rusty in some parts. And this is really a sore problem for an English language teacher. So today, we are going to talk about how to improve your English and how to stay, how to survive as an English teacher, not lose your language, not lose your knowledge, and how to progress in language learning. And I'm going to speak about something called language environment and creating artificial language environments for ourselves, what to do for this, how to do it, where to find materials, and most importantly, where to find time to do all that, because we're all busy, you know. And after that, I'll be happy to answer your questions. So please, if you have any questions during the webinar, don't forget to put them in the right section, вопрос, in the right upper corner. I'll repeat that, and I will be glad to answer them. So, what is language environment? We all know that for good language learning, we need some input, like a good English input. And the environment which provides this this language input in general is a language environment. And we've all heard stories about when people move to another country and they take kids with them and they put kids into schools in these countries, and then after a month or so their kids start talking this language of this country and even stop talking their native language, even at home, not only in class. Why? Because for them, English language becomes the main instrument of communication, the main instrument of learning, and they have this input around them like all the time. They are surrounded by English and they have a perfect English language environment. So for those who learn English, there is a recommendation that the more input you get, the faster your progress is, and like put yourself in an English-speaking environment and you'll be fine. So think about one more thing. We all remember some words in English better than others, some phrases better than others, and probably all of you won't ever forget some phrases from your school lessons of English, like who's on duty today, or who's absent today, or, well, not speaking of, London is the capital of Great Britain. So why? Because we heard them all the time, like every lesson, and we heard them like for 10 years. So we can't forget them even if we want to. Like, that's impossible. So just because we heard them all the time, we remember them well. And this is what a language input is about. So when you speak, when we try to learn a foreign language, we need this language environment. But what to do if we stay in our country and still want to learn a language? Because if you go outside, you'll hear Russian most of the time, depending on where you are, of course. And you definitely hear your native language. So what to do to have like the same environment, but not going to another country? So if an English language speaking country can't be reached by us, we can put it here, right where we are. And we can surround ourselves with some materials and some other ways of English language input to create this artificial language environment, which is very cheap. Yeah, most of the time it's free, or like it's very, very cheap, and you can do it right at home, right where you are, so you don't have to spend too much time on commuting or doing something else for that. And we create this artificial language environment to compensate the absence of English in our everyday life, and this is how you progress in English. As easy as that. Do that and your English get better, yeah? Easier said than done, you might say, but actually it is as easy said as done. And today I'm going to share with you how you can do that. So let's start with the most common thing you can do, the most common thing people recommend to do when you learn a language, and this is also applicable if we want not to forget language, and this is watch everything in English. So, you can watch TV series or films if you're a seriaholic and cinemaholic as I am, and try to do that in the language of the original. So mostly it's English, of course. This is probably the most natural way for us to create this English input. And there are a lot of services nowadays where you can get it for free or for a very cheap subscription. I won't name the sources, you all know them. So you can watch with or without subtitles. You can watch with Russian or English subtitles. It doesn't matter. Just stop watching them dubbed. Stop watching them in Russian. And believe me, after you hear the real voices of actors, favorite actors, you won't be able to hear them dubbed. So you'll just stop doing that in Russian. Where can we get them? And what can we get from these TV shows? Well, the most important thing is that mostly if you don't watch some historical drama, mostly this is like up-to-date language. This is what people speak now at this moment in this country. And it includes a lot of slang words, a lot of idiomatic expressions, a lot of phrases. And why it's easy to learn English through that is just because when you watch something, you're immersed in this world and you are very aware of what is going on the screen, and you have a very clear situation in front of you. So when you hear the phrase in this situation, after that, when this situation arises in your real life, you kind of use this phrase you've heard. So this is it creates a very natural context for you to learn some things. So I usually just enjoy watching a film or a TV show. I don't stop every time I don't understand anything. I ignore lots of things, especially in some films where there are some regional accents or something. So it's fine if you don't get things. It's really fine. The important thing is just remember, enjoy the process, find something that you really like, and then the process of learning will be quite smooth. I work with TV shows in the following way. When I hear something I like, something I particularly enjoy, or something I don't understand at all, I stop the video and I put down this phrase or the whole line on a piece of paper, on a card, and have it in front of me. I have a special wooden flower clipper on my table, and I put it there, so it's always in front of my eyes. And what I do next is I try to hear this phrase or to see this phrase in everything else I do. So if I watch other TV shows, or I watch some videos, or I read something, I start paying attention to this phrase. So I start registering it in different texts, in different environments. And then I try to incorporate it in my own speech when speaking to colleagues or speaking to my students, or just when writing something somewhere, or just, I don't know, putting it into a phrase I would like to say to my husband or something like that. So I look for this right situation, and then I try and put this phrase into it, and that's it. I never forget it after that. Well, probably that's how my brain works, but it actually works. If it's always in front of you, you're on alert for this phrase everywhere, and you get as many examples of using it as possible, and that really helps for remembering, for memorizing. So, for example, recently I watched another episode of The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, maybe there are fans in the audience who like this show. So, and there was a situation where Sheldon and other guys were thinking like why they stopped having how was it called? I don't even remember. Like, anything can happen Thursdays. Anything can happen Thursdays. And, they started thinking, let's do it again. Like, and they started thinking, what shall we do on this anything can happen day? And they started like expressing some ideas. And Sheldon said something and nobody liked it. So he said a phrase which, in my opinion, is genius. It's not idiomatic at all. It's just the phrase, something like how it was put. It's genius. So it was the phrase like this. He said, I'll shake the brain bush one more time and see what falls out. So that was set in the situation. So let me think again and offer some other idea. And that's perfect. I put it on a piece of paper. I've used it already a few times during my calls with colleagues and with my husband. My husband already hates this phrase because I try to use it as much as possible because I love it so much. So the more you hear something like that, you can put it down. It's not necessary that you put everything you don't know or something like that. No, just enjoy the process and choose the phrases you want. Now, most important part, where do you take time for all this? So, in my experience, we should go on a compromise with your family, actually, because I know that most families nowadays have those family TV shows which they watch together. And you're lucky if your husband speaks, or wife, your spouse speaks English as you are, then it's fine. And you can do that in English, no problem. But when they don't, there's a problem and you should do something about it. So, compromise with your family and you can offer a few options. You can choose days for English-only TV shows and days for Russian-only TV shows. You can watch it in English with Russian subtitles for your spouse to understand. You can watch them, in English 3 times a week and so on. Or you can choose only one TV show which you particularly choose to watch in English and so on. So there are many options and many of my colleagues do different things to find this time for themselves. When you do that, something you do every day becomes English input for free. And you easily find time for that because you will watch that TV show anyway. If you watch with friends who don't know English, download free subtitles in Russian because for every TV show there is a website on the net, you can Google it, which offers subtitles in all languages for free for those who can't hear. So it's a very good website and everything is completely free there. You can download for any film, for any TV series. So another way is you can cooperate with your colleagues, for example, or your friends and create movie clubs where you would gather around once a week, probably, watch a film and then discuss it in English. Even better, you practice it in English. That's great. You can go to the cinema to watch films in English in the original. I don't know what city you are in, but you may try to find the place like that in your city, because I live not in a very big city, to tell you the truth. But sometimes very famous films are shown in English in the cinemas. So by the end of the of this film in the cinema in general, they put a few times in the schedule where you can watch it in English without any subtitles, without any dubs. And I was really surprised when I first went to watch a film like that. I was really surprised how many people went to watch it in English. A lot of young people, not only young, and that was amazing. So many people were interested in English, like in the original film. So that's great. And you can reserve some me time in which you can watch TV shows and films in English and tell your family, sorry guys, I need some me time, and do that in that time. If you don't have interest or time in like long films and TV shows, you can watch videos. YouTube is a great place for that. You can subscribe to different channels of what you like. And the range of topics is endless, like literally. Everyone can find something to their taste, and you can watch some things on cooking, on fashion, beauty, science, design, DIY, innovation, like anything. If you're into games, you can watch Let's Plays and some things like that. You can watch film reviews, you can watch book reviews, you can watch vlogs after all, and it's all for free. You can subscribe, push the bell button, and they will announce and tell you when there's a new video up, so you will never, you won't like miss it. And it's very convenient because the videos are usually short, so it's not even like one episode of a TV show, so we all can find time for that. I have enormous amount of different channels I subscribe to, so this is only a tip of the iceberg, 3 examples. I have like more than 50, probably even more. For recipes, I watch Food Wishes, where the inimitable Chef John shares his recipes from all over the world, some cooking techniques, some tricks, and he's just a delight to hear. Like, listen at least to one video. He loves to incorporate little puns in his talk, and he's really funny. I love this guy. So videos are normally 5 to 10 minutes, and he talks all that time, like for the whole 5 or 10 minutes. It's a great way to get English inputs. So next time you need to cook something, go to this channel and see what you can get. If you like comedy, you can try Foil Arms and Hug. These are 3 Irish guys who have 1 to 2 minute sketches and also pieces of their concerts on this channel. New video every Thursday. They are genius, absolutely genius. And another challenge on their channel is that they have very distinct Irish accent. So if you're not ready for like a different accent of English, this is a good chance for you to practice. And believe me, once you've seen it, you just won't be able to stop. They are marvelous. Another interesting channel is called Brave Wilderness. Yeah, the presentation will be sent for you. Don't worry, you won't lose all those links. Just relax, it will be fine. Brave Wilderness is a channel about a guy. He travels around the world and shoots videos about different animals and insects and other things. You will see animals and insects you never knew existed. This is really great. And the most interesting part is that the quality of his videos is much better than of the professional channels like National Geographic and Animal Planet. Really. So I don't know how he does that, but they have much worse equipment, really. And he's also very funny. His name is Coyote Peterson, so it's really great to see him. And I don't know what happened, but somebody is clicking through my presentation. And that's creepy. I don't know what happened. Let me fix that if I can. Okay, here we are. Whoever is doing that, please don't, okay? Thank you. So you see, there are lots of different ideas and lots of different things you are interested in, guys. So please go check it out. All my students already watch these videos and love them. So you'll love them too, I hope. If you have any more questions about some other topics, you can ask me at the end of the webinar. Maybe I'll share some other things. If you're a bookworm like me, you can enjoy reading. And for that, you can use an app which is called Google Play Books. This is an application which it's in the browser, and also it's on all devices you have, like tablets, a phone, something like that. So whenever I buy an ebook or download some freebie, I upload it to this app, and then when I open it on my phone or on my tablet, they synchronize. And for example, I can start reading a book on the screen of my computer. Then I can continue reading while while, I don't know, lying on my sofa at the end of the day on my tablet. If I am in a queue in a bank, I can continue reading from my phone. So the cool thing is it remembers where you stopped. All bookmarks, all pages where you are on, they will synchronize between your devices. And it's really a good way to sneak peek into your favorite book anytime you have a free minute. So where can you find free books or some information about books? There are a few places. Open Library offers a lot of free books, which you can read either online or download. I'm not sure about downloading though, because I think they canceled that now. So you can only read online, but still. And they have an app, so you can read on your phone as well. Also, Gutenberg Project has over 57,000. That's really small number there on the screen. So a lot of ebooks which you can download and read online. Mostly it's classical literature, nonfiction, but also some contemporary books, contemporary literature as well. So you can browse it and see for yourself. Also, there is a website called BookBub. Strange name, I know. What you can do there, you can register there, have a questionnaire, choose the genres that you enjoy, choose some books that you read, and then it will send you a newsletter with an offer, weekly or daily, it's up to you, with very cheap books like $1-2 books or free books on the topic you've chosen. So that's really cool because you can download quite a lot of books for free, and well, you can read them later, but they're there and you can upload it to Google Play Books. It's synchronized, by the way, with the Google Play Books, so you open them there like at once. So that's really convenient. Also, there is a blog with interviews with authors, book lists like 10 best books to read on a nasty evening in autumn, or something like that, and also some book recommendations as well. And another cool website and app is Goodreads. I'm sure some of you know it because it's very famous. This is a website that really disciplines you to read, because you mark what books you read and it gives you some recommendations. You can add books to a want to read list. You can participate in a reading challenge. As you can see, I'm a good girl. I've read 19 books out of 20 already. Well, I'm joking. Actually, I've prolonged it till 25 books and I'm on 21st book now, on the 22nd. Sorry. You can participate in these book challenges and really You can upgrade your progress while you're reading a book. You can add books you would like to read in the future into your wish list. And also it gives you some recommendations. And if you're subscribed to some other people, you can see their news feed and choose the books they are reading. Also very convenient to find new books. If you don't have time for books, you can read blogs. One of my favorite is Board Panda. It has apps on all devices, and also you can read it just on Facebook. Board Panda is like Russian adme.ru, because like they're kind of stealing their materials there. So Board Panda gives you some stories, mostly photos, but also a lot of stories. And you can actually participate in the discussion in English, read some really interesting stuff. And there is an edition for teachers called Board Teachers, where you can read a lot of jokes and you can also read some articles. For example, you can find out like how to grade your students' homework with memes. You can find out how to create your own teacher memes. You can find out who are helicopter parents and who are lawnmower parents and how to deal with them if you're teaching kids at school. And it's really funny. Like, not all the humor is fine. There are some strange stuff. That's the internet. Be ready to find some strange stuff there. One recommendation, when you go to this blog, they are completely free. That's why they have a lot of ads around the text. So when you go to these websites, I beg you, please use ad block, because if you don't, you will see some strange stuff, and I don't recommend you to see that, really. You won't be able to unsee it afterwards. So again, read for pleasure, write out some words, but don't like sit with the dictionary in front of you. Just only if you don't understand even the gist, then go and look up that word. If not, it's fine. Just read on. Another way, social media. We all know it's part of our life, and according to the research of 2017, I will read it. I did my homework, so I'll read those numbers for you. As of 2017, daily social media usage of global internet users amounted to 135 minutes per day. Guys, we spend almost or even more than 2 hours a day using social media, even if we just open it to scroll through our news feed. That's awful, but that's part of our life, so why not use it for our benefit? Fill in your newsfeed with English. Subscribe to different groups and publics where the main language of communication is English. Closed study groups for exams, CPD, methodology, anything else, just English version of those groups, and try to like communicate in English and so on. So that's really convenient. I won't talk about all social media networks because you all know them. You know better than me what to do on them. I will talk only about one as an example because unfortunately this one is being overlooked by Russian speaking society for the reason that it's completely in English. So young people know that. I mean, younger than like me, even teenagers, they know that. Sometimes I hear that from my students. I don't know where they take it from. So it's Reddit. And what is Reddit? It's a very strange, unusual social media. You can find there something called subreddits on a lot of different topics. And if you subscribe to them, they are in your news feed and you like scroll through it and read some funny stuff. What can you find there? So, first of all, a lot of memes. This is the house of memes. This is where they come from, where they are born and die as well. So, a lot of memes. If you are not familiar with the phenomena of memes. It's time to find out, because modern internet, modern English, modern internet English is all about memes. You can find a lot of funny pics, videos, GIFs, jokes, and so on. And very important, always check the sorry, lost train of my thought suddenly. Always check the comment section here, because this is the gold, really. I will give you an example. This is something I've seen recently on Reddit. Here is a joke on the right. When you speak two languages but start losing vocabulary in both of them is called bilingual, which is a nice pun. But the most fun sometimes starts in the comments when people start relating to that, and you can see how people reply to that. Yeah, so if you speak more than one language, more than two languages, I think you are familiar with this thing. Yeah, because I do. I have two native languages, and English and Spanish and Italian and a bit of Polish. And sometimes I remember things in one of those languages, which is not my native at all. So that's a really strange phenomena. Yeah, it's very true, really. When my students ask me something like, how do you say that in Russian? And I'm like, and I have no idea. Like, I'm sorry, guys, I forgot how to Russian, which is another meme. So this is how it works. It's really funny. It's very unusual. Be prepared to see a lot of bad stuff there, but that's the internet. If you're there, if you're on the internet, I guess you're ready to see something unpleasant. What else? What else? Another way to add English to our life is through audiobooks and podcasts or other audio material. This is also a free way. So, a lot of podcasts are completely free. Some audiobooks are free. Let's start with audiobooks. Here are links. You will get them after with the presentation. So here are links with the materials where you can get a lot of free audiobooks. I particularly like Open Culture because there are a lot of audiobooks even with modern literature, but they are read by not professional readers, so be ready for that. But it's still good because, for example, well, we know, like as women know, that sometimes we need hands-free mode, yeah, to do some stuff, to look after kids, to do the washing up, to do the cleaning, to cook, and so on. But it's boring, just do it in silence, so you can listen to something. And when you can't read something, you can always listen to it using some of the audiobooks. Same thing with podcasts. Here you can see the most famous ones. First one, Google Podcasts. The last one is an icon from Apple Podcasts, I mean from all your Apple devices. And you can find some interesting parts, some interesting things like I've listened some things on history of English, on literature, just talk shows, like anything, like open Google. If you have an Android phone, you have it you have this app on your phone. It's called Google Podcast. Just look for it somewhere. Probably you've deleted it, but it's on most of the Android phones now. Just browse through it, find something nice that you would like to listen to, and listen to it. I listened to Road Rage podcast by Sevadas, or Matt Zagurski, his real name. It's a famous Let's Player, and it's very nice, up-to-date English, very modern English, lots of slang, which is sometimes lots of strange references I don't quite understand because he's American, but still it's nice to hear. And finally, if you're into games, there is another way to listen to things, is Twitch. This is a website and app on all your devices where you can watch something called Let's Plays. It's when people play games and comment on them. There are also talk shows on this Twitch website. There are also just things like question and answer with the Let's Player. Sometimes there are tutorials, like a drawing tutorial. A lot of painters there, lots of designers live there, and it's nice. So you don't necessarily need to focus on that much. You can just have it on the background speaking, and that's it. Like, sometimes I'm not in the mood for reading or watching TV. This is the best option to do in case I don't want to watch a film. And here are two of my favorite Let's Players: Dan's Gaming, it's a green one, Dan, and Sevadas, or Matt Zagurski, he's the second one. They're very funny. They swear a lot, but very inventively, so that's nice to listen to. And they talk nonstop. Like, they can talk for 8 hours straight. And it's really cool because they talk about the game, they talk about the weather, they talk about their lives, they talk about some news. So practically you don't need to listen to news. You can listen to these guys and have fun at the same time. And it's really cool. There are streams, but you can also watch the archive with pre-recorded videos as well. So try it out if you're interested in it. And speaking about games, if you're into it, it's also a great way to improve your English. Some of you might think that that's foolish, that's for kids, but that's not true, because games are perfect for improving your English, especially if that's a game with a good storyline, and if that's a game which has a voiceover, which has like voice actors recording those lines and so on, and all of them have subtitles, so that's great if you're not confident enough in your listening skills. So you can get a lot of topical vocabulary from there, like all things I know about furniture, and all things I know about materials, all things about some like socializing words and everything I know from games. Some very interesting expressions and idioms and things like that. A lot of archaic language. After playing some games, it was easy for me to read Shakespeare and Dickens in the original, so that's a good thing. You practice reading and listening at the same time, or only reading, depending on the game. You get constant repetition of some phrases, which leads to better memorization. This is a great workout for your brain, really. It's proved, scientifically proved fact. Games are good for your brain, in normal amounts, of course. And it's fun. So some of my favorites are The Sims 4, what you can get from there. Lexis on building, furniture, everyday life, social interaction, and so on. You will be able to create your own world and your own story. You can participate in in-game events. You can build. I love building things. I don't play much, but I build, I decorate. That's my passion, probably my hobby. So I spend a lot of evenings in this game. Sims 4 is not good for listening skills. That's true, but still, it's good for everything else. There is a story, and every time you can really learn a lot. Like, what's the difference between a dresser, a sideboard, and a cupboard, and other things like that. And you can then use that knowledge to teach your students when you get to that topic. What else? Minecraft, which is one of the games that in some countries is already included in the school curriculum, and it's used to teach such subjects as sciences, history, maths, and like a lot more. different things. And even in the Electronic Village Online, EVO, if you know that, once a year, methodologists from all over the world gather to play Minecraft and discuss some new things and some changes in English language teaching. So that's really fun to watch. And I don't know, I hope one day I will be able to participate. So my students, a few students said that their parents bought them Minecraft, and like under one condition, like you'll play that game in English and then you can play it. And that's really good, because after they started doing that, after they started playing that, the language of my teenage students became much better, really. So that's great. Skyrim, that's the legendary game. Very beautiful, very beautiful. And it's archaic. You can find a lot of phrases and a lot of words and phrases connected with Scandinavian myths and Old English and the epic story of Beowulf. If you did your homework at the university, you know what it is. It teaches you a lot of useful expressions, collocations, and they are repeated all the time, so you can, like, they are stuck in your head and you remember them well. And also it's nice, and it's a nice game. So you like, every game is different, so you can start it a lot of times. I love it. That's a good way to kill the time and enjoy. Stardew Valley, farming game. Lots of vocabulary about farming, plants, materials, tools, fish. All names of fish I learned from there. So now I know the difference. I know all the difference. Rocks, social interaction as well. Very cool stuff. The Wolf Among Us and Life is Strange, two games which are they are like you're in the book or in the comic book and in the TV show, and at the same time you play the game. That's something like, this is a very strange and very cool experience, and you can alter the story. It means, like, depending on your choices, the story will change and the outcome of the game will change. And the Wolf Among Us is very specific. It's all based on fairy tales. Life is Strange is very how to put it mildly, hipster game, but really fun, very beautiful. And the most positive part is that Life is Strange is the first episode of this game is free on the official website of the game, so you can download it like today, and it's free. You can try it. At least watch some Let's Players playing these games and see if you like them or not. I love them all. And these are, of course, a few things. Find something you like. Play the games with your kids. Make your kids play the game in English and sit and watch and listen to all those dialogues and so on. So that's really nice. So another few mentions how else you can improve your English is like sign up for a MOOC. For different online courses in English, Coursera, Udemy, edX, Han Academy, anything. Just let this course be in English and you can, like, learn anything. Also, satisfy your curiosity in English, like, be curious in English. If you have questions about the world, things, food, medicine, like everything, Google it in English. I mean, like, anything. I don't know why glue doesn't stick to the surface of the bottle. That's a good question that bothered me like a few days ago. Or why is yawning contagious? Why, when somebody yawns or even starts talking about yawning, everyone else is starting yawning? So why is that happening? Everything you're interested in, Google it in English and try to find the answer on the forums and anywhere else. And it helps helps you like create this English environment. And another thing, switch all your devices into English. My Windows and all my browsers, all my devices, tablet, phone, anything, they're all in English. So there are some things, technical things about computers, computer language, which I have no idea how it sounds in Russian at all. I do that all in English, and it's really nice and convenient because most of the tutorials for some programs are only in English, and the Russian customization, language customization of the programs, it's not very obvious sometimes, so you can find some stuff. It's very annoying. So I don't have this problem since 2006, which was the year where I turned all my devices into English, and I don't regret that moment. At last, last but not least, learn an English language with a teacher. It's okay. Even if you are a teacher, it's fine. Sometimes learn it in English with a teacher. Why? Regular lessons, discipline, homework, schedule, and the things. I'm sorry, can everyone hear and see me? Because I'm told that there is no video. Can anyone see and hear me? Okay, that's fine. Sorry guys, it's something local. Everyone else can hear me and see me. Cool. Let's continue. So, this all helps you discipline yourself and reach your goal much faster. That's really good sometimes. From time to time, occasionally take up this course. And if you're interested, for example, you can even join our course made by our school. This is a course called Developing Linguistic Competence for an English Language Teacher. It's a 90-hour course with English speaking tutors and certified teachers, and it's group lessons online. You don't need to go anywhere. It's very convenient, and the most important part about this course is that it's not just any general course, any general English course. It's a course specifically tailored for English language teachers. It covers most of the topics that you'll need while teaching English on different levels. It concerns some of the aspects of exams, different exams, including the Unified State exam from Russia. It improves all your skills, but most importantly, the main thing it improves is the main competence is speaking. You can also get from there. You can also get writing tutorials, which is something you won't find online, believe me. So this is really cool, and you can find out about the course by following the link, which Irina will send you right now in the chat. So Irina, please send us a link to the course. You can subscribe to it right now. The lessons start on the 27th of November, but you can already register for the course if you're interested. And if you subscribe, if you register till the 21st of November, you'll get a special prize. And also till that time, you get a special offer. If you bring a friend to the course and you both buy lessons there, both of you will get 2 free lessons. All the information about the course is, if you follow this link, you will see the timetable, you will see the length of the course, and you'll see how often you'll have lessons and how long the lessons will be and how much the lessons are and any other information there. And at the end of the webinar, I'll give you the link where you can find out even more. yeah, if you bring up friends, you will get 2 lessons and your friend will get 2 lessons, and it's quite cool. The advantage of the course is that, again, you have it with in groups, which is a good opportunity to speak, to practice your English. It's quite cheap, and you get certified English speaking certified tutors. You'll get relevant and interesting material specially designed for teachers, and you get an opportunity to get a certificate of accredited education. It's a standard certificate from Russian Federation, or standard certificate of advanced training. Sometimes it calls like that. So you can find all the information about this course by following the link. So it's also an option, yeah. So let's sum it all up. It is possible to keep your English on the level and even improve it by studying at home, do nothing but something you like, something you enjoy. Yes, coming soon. I hope. You've been listening to me all this time, and I don't know, I hope I've been a good example of what an artificial language environment can do to you, because I've never been to an English-speaking country in my life, and this is all I learned here on the internet. So all you hear is 10% what I've learned at school, at university, 90% including pronunciation and intonation of what I've learned surrounding myself with these English language inputs. I also had a few lessons online as well with a teacher. And I really hope that you will find a lot of new ideas in this webinar to improve your English. You will try different things, probably you will find something very unexpected, something you thought, nah, I won't do that no, I won't do that at all in my life, but maybe you'll find that exciting and enjoyable. So why not? Try things, see how it works for you, and even if you sign up for the course, everything I've told you today is a great way to look out for the new phrases and words you've learned on the course between lessons in a real life context. So that's a great thing. And now I'm ready to answer your questions. So please, if you haven't asked them yet, this is the time. And I'm going to the section Vопроsi, and let's see what you have here. Where can we practice English at high levels? Go to social networks and find English language groups where there are people communicating in English. Go to different blogs where the comment section is in English. Go to forums and stuff like that, and practice English there. Go to Reddit. There are mostly English language speakers, because mostly there are Americans on Reddit. What else? Is your husband a native speaker? No, my husband is not a native speaker, and my husband is even a greater example of how you can learn an English language without going to an English language country and without having lessons in the traditional sense of this word, because my husband learned English through Cartoon Networks. When in the 90s, it was in English on our TVs. He learned English through games when they were not optimized for Russian speakers. He learned English through films and videos on YouTube. So sometimes he knows some things better than me, like slang words and some phrases. He tells me, do you know this phrase? And I no, I haven't heard of it at all. And he says, how can you not hear it? You're an English teacher, you should know that. So this is, no, not a native speaker. But yeah, we speak in different languages at home. We speak in Russian/Ukrainian/English, slash parts of Polish language, because we both learn Polish, and sometimes I swear in Spanish. So, what else? Could you recommend some resources where you may find these series and films? It's quite hard nowadays. Not hard at all. Like anywhere, you can sometimes even watch them Hallmark movies on YouTube for free. Just find them before they get deleted by YouTube. Ororo. I don't want to like advertise them, but you can find them there. What is the best way to meet and communicate with students of any school from an English-speaking country? Through Facebook. Facebook has a lot of study groups and groups for teachers, like the most known, like Teach English by British Council. Learn English and teaching English, something like that, from British Council. They have groups in Facebook, and in these groups very often teachers from different countries look for exchange students for their students. Like we try to find pen friends for our kids in India. Would you like to participate? And lots of people start like, I teach like secondary school in Mozambique. I teach secondary school in Greece. I teach secondary school in the United States. Would you like to exchange language? And you can find it there. So you just need to subscribe to many groups like that. Could you recommend online courses in English? I've heard Coursera. Yeah, I've mentioned them, and you will find them in my presentation. Coursera, edX, what else? Come on, I knew that. Sorry, just a moment. edX, Udemy, Khan Academy. Khan Academy, by the way, now has a very nice free course on storytelling, and this is a must-have for teachers, so please. Future Learn, yes. There are lots of them, like up to you what you prefer more. What else? Are you going to organize webinars on the use of modern English? Don't know if you need. We can like vote somewhere in our public and see if you need it, we will. What is an advanced course? Advanced course is a course in advanced English, probably. I'm not sure what you're asking about. Would you be so kind to share presentation with us? You will get the presentation with a recording of the webinar afterwards. How to use it all in speech? That's a great question. Yeah, I was talking mostly about input, like what you get like in your head from somewhere, through reading or watching. How to output it? There are a few ways, like all the social media, all the things I've mentioned, blogs, everything. There you can use your written English, practice your written English through comment section. You can participate in writing clubs. By the way, there is a thing like writing clubs on Facebook. You can do like that. If it's speaking, what can you do for speaking? There are a few ways. First, you can always communicate with your colleagues and other people who learn English. Like you can talk to your fellow teachers at school in English. That's probably fine. You can specially organize speaking clubs for your colleagues and speak English there. You can attend free on like very cheap speaking clubs and also practice English there. You can find a friend, an exchange friend, and also practice English with them. And one of the craziest way, but for me it's one of the best ways, you can speak to yourself in your head. Yes, this is also useful. Why? Apart from rehearsing different phrases in your head, you can also think and invent some situations where your English is not enough. For example, sometimes I can, recently my tap or faucet, as they say in America, in bathroom my tab broke, and we went to buy a new one, and my husband was speaking to the salesperson, and I was listening to them, and I understood that, like, I don't know all that, not only in English, I sometimes don't know some things even in Russian. So I tried to listen to that and imagine a situation. What if I were in an English-speaking country and I had the same situation and I had to go and buy a new tap for my bathroom? So this creates a situation for which then you find language. So after I came home, I researched the internet on this topic. I researched some online shops where you can buy taps and other things for that, some accessories for that. And this is a great way to find those weak points or action points for you to improve in this way. So talk to yourself. That's not weird. That's fine. Do you teach your own children English? I don't have children yet, but I definitely will. I hope that my children will speak English as their native language, at least one of their native languages. I'm a bilingual from birth, and I hope that my kids will be multilingual. Yeah. And one more question. How long is the course? The full course is 4.5 months. So the price you've seen, it was for the whole 4.5 months. And other details you will find by following the link. Will we study with teachers only? Yes, in groups there will be only teachers, no, not just regular students, only teachers. So it will be interesting for you to discuss some things between teachers. That's really nice. Will be there any homework? Yeah, sure. Homework. Guys, homework. Choose one thing from my webinar which you have never used to improve your English and try to do it for a week. If you like it, do it for a month. If you like it, continue doing it and find something else. So this is something I can recommend you. And believe me, once you try, you will start enjoying it and you will never stop. And your English will be considerably better. So I guess we can wrap up.